The state of Wisconsin has lighting and marking requirements for all agricultural equipment on the road. These requirements ensure that these large, slow-moving implements are visible to motorists. Agricultural equipment operators need to be aware and use extra caution when they are sharing the highway with other motorists. Proper lighting and markings bring attention to the fact that these vehicles are unique and caution is required. The slow-moving vehicle emblem, commonly referred to as the SMV, is a fluorescent yellow-orange equilateral triangle with a dark red retroreflective border. An SMV is required on all vehicles that usually travel at speeds less than 25 miles per hour, which includes most agricultural equipment on the road today. The emblem must be mounted on the rear of the vehicle and be visible at all times. When pulling wagons and other attachments, if the towing vehicle has an SMV that is visible to the rear at all times, then the pulled units are not required to have an SMV. However, it is allowable to have more than one SMV in a vehicle combination, and it is best practice to have SMVs on the rear of all farm equipment that operate on the highway. Besides the SMV, all agricultural equipment and farm tractors have lighting requirements when operating on highways during hours of darkness. In Wisconsin, hours of darkness is defined as the period of time from 1/2 hour after sunset to 1/2 hour before sunrise, and at all other times when there is not sufficient natural light to render clearly visible any person or vehicle upon a highway at a distance of 500 feet. This could include rain and foggy conditions as well as low light conditions. Self-propelled implements in farm tractors operating on the highway during hours of darkness are required to have 2 white headlights. Field work lights are not allowed for use on a roadway or when parked in the right-of-way. Equipment must have at least 1 red taillight. If the equipment was manufactured with 2 red taillights, both must be working. Taillights must be mounted at a point within 20 to 72 inches off the ground. As always, an SMV is required to be mounted on the rear of the vehicle and must be visible at all times. Any agricultural equipment being towed or attached to an implement or tractor on a highway or parked in the right-of-way during hours of darkness must have 2 red taillights or 2 red reflectors to the rear. All implements of husbandry that are more than 4 feet wide to the left side of the center line of the towing unit must have an amber reflector at the widest point on the left side facing forward so as to mark the extreme width of the towed equipment for oncoming vehicles. As always, a slow-moving vehicle emblem must be visible to the rear at all times. The towed vehicle need not have a slow-moving vehicle emblem if the towing vehicle's emblem is visible to the rear. However, it is best practice to have a slow-moving emblem on the rearmost vehicle. For 3-vehicle agricultural trains, 1 red or amber light or reflector must be located on each side of every vehicle in the train. These lights or reflectors must be visible from a minimum distance of 500 feet to the sides. This does not require additional lights or markings if the 3 vehicles already have lights or reflectors installed by the manufacturer. The intent of these lights and reflectors is so that the side of the trailed vehicle is visible at intersections and when the units are turning. SMV emblems cannot be used as reflectors on the side of equipment. SMV emblems are to be mounted on the rear of vehicles only. Wisconsin's lighting and marking requirements for agricultural equipment on the highway are intended to increase visibility and create awareness that farm vehicles move slower and are larger than other motor vehicles. If operators do not have the required lighting and marking, it is their responsibility to retrofit their vehicles to meet these standards. Our rural highways are used by all types of travelers. Lighting and marking requirements promote safety for all users on the road. Wide implements of husbandry, vehicles that are wider than 15 feet or that extend over the center of the roadway, have specific lighting and marking requirements. For those requirements, watch the DOT's video on Wisconsin's lighting and marking requirements for wide implements of husbandry.